Officers are trained to handle danger, but nothing prepared them for what they found here.
No hay nadie. El momento de entrar en esa puerta rechinó algo.
Strange scenes, unsettling behavior, and moments that left even veterans shaken.
Like it just flew open, like, nah, what the f?
What they saw still doesn't make sense, and some say it never will. A woman was filming a chill TikTok when the screaming started out of nowhere. It wasn't just loud. It sounded wrong. She ran to the window and saw all her neighbors outside, pointing at the apartment next door. Cops showed up fast, but then things got weird. One officer leaned out the window and shouted for a cross. That alone flipped the whole mood. You could even hear someone inside yelling, "Satan," over and over, not normal screaming. More like something feral.
La Ouija. Entonces, ahí quedaron dos espíritus.
Later, the girl said the police called a priest too. Turns out 2 girls inside had been messing with a Ouija board when one started acting terrifying, throwing up black stuff and screaming non-stop. People swore she was possessed, and the screams went on all night. Yeah, nobody who watched this will want to touch a Ouija board ever again. Like and subscribe, because if even the police can't explain this, imagine what else is out there. Demonic frenzy. Back in 2016, a disturbing clip was recorded that left people shaken. A young girl named Sophia, known in the area for her odd behavior, was seen running up to cars and forcing them to stop. She screamed wildly, thrashing her arms against the vehicles like she had completely lost control of herself. The bizarre outburst quickly drew a large crowd of onlookers, each wondering what had taken hold of her. Police soon arrived to investigate the chaos, while some dismissed it as a mental health issue. Others were adamant that it couldn't explain the way she moved, insisting instead that Sophia was possessed by something far darker. Ceiling claws. Officers were dispatched to an abandoned building after neighbors reported strange sounds coming from inside. It was supposed to be empty. One resident even claimed he saw a tall, humanoid shape with long claws moving in the dark. As they searched for signs of an intruder, they looked up and froze. Clawed hands were poking through a gap in the ceiling, slowly curling downward like they were trying to get in. That's when they realized this might not be human at all. Some thought it was just an animal. Others said it might be a skinwalker. Either way, it didn't feel like a job for ordinary cops anymore. Haunted school. Jake, a ghost hunter, and his partner explored Liberty High, an abandoned school, left to rot. They split up to cover more ground and soon started hearing strange noises. Distant footsteps, whispering knocks.
Oh my god.
And then they heard heavy thuds echoing through the building.
Hello?
The place should have been empty, so the guy quickly called the police.
I'm at the old Liberty High School. There's shots fired. Please come here quick.
Spooked by the sounds. When police arrived, the situation escalated even more. After a few minutes, they rushed out visibly distressed by whatever they'd witnessed inside, and one officer even swore he'd felt a cold presence watching from the shadows.
So right there on the second floor,
Yes.
we were looking this way. I heard pitter patter, like that, along that, what would that be? the east wall. And then he hears it at the end of the hallway. And as I'm taking my light down, I see something go like dart across.
Are you guys dead ass?
Swear.
Do you have body
we were
cam?
like, no. We were talking about you guys. We were like, let's just black out for a second.
One of the deputy's wife even commented saying he still talked about that night. Whatever was inside Liberty High didn't want them there, and made that very clear. Unexpected presence. This footage shook an entire police department. After a tragic car accident, an officer was reviewing the crash video when he noticed something he hadn't seen at the scene. The car looked completely empty, but as the camera panned forward, a child's face appeared through the cracked windshield, clear as day. Everyone who was there swore there had been no child anywhere near that car. So where did the face come from? People started asking if cameras could see things human eyes couldn't, like ghosts, because if no one saw the child in real life, but the camera did, then what else were they supposed to believe? Window figures. A resident had called police after hearing noises from an upstairs apartment that was supposed to be abandoned. Officers searched it and found nothing. No one inside. No signs of entry. But after they left, a camera across the apartment building caught something disturbing. Several small figures appeared at the window, about the size of children, and they moved strangely. There weren't supposed to be any kids there at all. People who saw the clip swore those weren't people. They looked like ghosts, watching from inside an empty apartment. And once you noticed them, you couldn't unsee them. A security guard in Mexico was monitoring live CCTV footage when he noticed something deeply unsettling in the neighborhood. A man was walking casually down the street, but a strange shadow was right behind him. The shadow mirrored every single movement he made, step for step. But somehow the man was completely unaware of it. After seeing this, the guard was reminded of old folklore about shadow entities that attach themselves to a person's soul. They're believed to slowly drain their energy until the victim loses their sense of self. Stole driver. When a police car was reported stolen from the investigation office, no one expected it to turn up like this. An officer later spotted the vehicle and noticed someone sitting inside. As he moved closer, he realized a woman was in the driver's seat, but something about her felt deeply wrong. She looked as if she was under the influence of some demonic power. Unfortunately, the video abruptly ends there, and all that remains is hope that the officer walked away unharmed. Mysterious visitor. A tenant hadn't been seen for over a week, so police arrived for what was meant to be a routine welfare check. As officers moved in, Diana, the landlord's sister, began recording. The trailer lights had stayed on for days, so no one thought much of it at first. But soon, the officers went inside and confirmed the tenant had passed. The next day, while reviewing the footage, Diana noticed a small child-sized silhouette standing eerily still before vanishing completely. Neither she nor her brother could explain it until they searched the trailer and learned the tenant once had a daughter who lost her life years earlier. All the evidence and eerie sightings proved it was, after all, the tenant's daughter, paying her father a quiet visit. Haunted crematorium. An overnight security guard at a cemetery had been doing his rounds inside the crematorium when he recorded something chilling. One of the urns began to move on its own. The room was completely empty. He watched as the lid slowly lifted. That was enough for him. He backed out fast, still filming. In the next room, the curtains were swaying and then moved as if someone invisible had just walked through them. That, no doubt, felt genuine. The guard didn't go back inside, and honestly, after seeing something rise from an urn like that, nobody blamed him. Some places aren't meant to be patrolled alone at night. Church intrusion. Police rushed to a church after reports of a demonic possession, but what their body cams captured was far stranger than they expected. A man stood calmly near the altar, and when officers asked him to leave, he seemed ready to cooperate.
Well, we can't really do that. That's the church's property.
Until he suddenly threw himself onto the floor. When asked how he got there, he said it was because of Jesus.
So how'd you end up here today?
Because I'm Jesus.
He then stood up, grabbed the cross from the altar, collapsed again, and began screaming. An inhuman sound unlike anything the officers had ever heard. His behavior grew more disturbing until he was forcibly detained. Many who watched the footage believed it was true possession, terrifying everyone, but leaving them relieved that police managed to restrain him. Sky orbs. This clip was a strange one. After a farmer reported his cattle kept disappearing, police went to investigate. What they saw left them speechless. Multiple glowing orbs hovered over the field, slowly ascending into the sky like they had just taken off.
Get this on your phone?
Yeah.
They're just hanging there. They were lower a minute ago. Stay behind.
They didn't move like drones. They just floated upward and vanished. The officers stood there with no explanation, and suddenly, the missing cattle didn't feel like a theft anymore. It felt like something else entirely. Whatever took them, it wasn't human.
Stay behind the truck, all right?
All right.
And it definitely wasn't something the police could arrest. Hospital presence. Cops were called to a hospital building after reports of strange noises. At first, nothing unusual was visible, but then one officer spotted a pale-skinned woman inside a locked room.
Sumamente extraño. No hay nadie. Al momento de entrar en esa puerta rechinó.
When he looked again, she had vanished. Her terrifying face, however, was captured on his body camera. The officers searched the area again, but the woman was never found. The unexplained appearance and disappearance, along with the eerie recordings, made the entire investigation completely paranormal and left the team unsettled. Basement creature. Who asks someone to explore the most abandoned building in the dead of night? That's something I'll never understand. This guy decided to investigate a building rumored to be home to a mysterious creature. He went downstairs. And as soon as he panned the camera, a strange figure appeared, peeking from behind the wall. Its glowing eyes and eerie shape made it clear this was something no human could dare confront. He left all thoughts of facing the creature behind and quickly made his way out. Car horror. A night patrol officer had been resting in the back seat when he noticed something was off. The car was supposed to be empty, but someone was sitting in the front. He swore nobody had been there a minute earlier. Then he looked in the mirror and saw a face that didn't look human at all. Hollow black eyes, almost alien. He started recording, heart racing, and suddenly the thing in the front seat reached back and grabbed his phone. Just like that. The clip ended right there. People watching had no idea what to think. Was it an intruder messing with him? Or something not even human? Either way, nobody envied that officer. Hopefully, he got out of that car in one piece. Guard possession. A security guard had been recording himself after finishing his rounds when something terrifying happened. He suddenly started acting strange, almost like he wasn't himself anymore. His eyes rolled back, his body twitched and jerked, and he reached for the cross around his neck, pressing it against his forehead as if trying to fight something off. The whole moment looked disturbingly close to possession, and many who watched the clip agreed. The recording ended abruptly as he continued struggling against whatever force seemed to be overtaking him. Even the guards, it seemed, weren't safe from whatever haunted that place. Shadow pursuit. During a robbery chase, one officer ran straight into something he clearly wasn't trained for. He was crossing the road, almost at the sidewalk, when he suddenly froze, like he saw something that set off every alarm in his body.
And she just disappeared in the sidewalk.
He backed up fast and ran back across the street. The camera caught it too. A dark, hopping shadow appeared on the sidewalk.
Oh, Regina! Ahí va saliendo! What the?
And when you replayed it, it looked like the thing literally came through the wall. Both officers just stood there after, confused and shaken. No clue what they just faced. It didn't move like a person. It didn't look solid either. People watching said it looked demonic, straight up. Whatever it was, it stopped that chase instantly. Ambulance apparition. This ambulance driver thought his shift was about to get intense, but not like this. While driving, he swore he saw a face in the rearview mirror.
Been an EMT just for a little bit in. Like, I ain't never experienced nothing like this. So as we driving back to base, I swear I seen a face in the rearview mirror.
Problem was, the ambulance was empty. He started filming, totally freaked out, and jumped out without even turning the engine off.
I need to turn this engine off though, cause like, we're gonna be stranded out here.
When he went back to shut it down, he heard a loud bang from the back. He grabbed his phone again and backed away. That's when the camera caught it. Something inside darted from one side to the other, way too fast to be human.
Like, it just flew open, like, can you... Oh. Nah, what the...
It kept pacing back and forth like it was trapped.
Can y'all see it? Nah, hell no. That.
The guy decided he wasn't going back in. And honestly, ambulances carry people through their worst moments. If any place could hold onto a ghost, it'd be that one. Tunnel child. What were cops even supposed to do in moments like this? Two officers driving through a remote area when they spotted something near an old tunnel people said was haunted. It looked like a child standing against the wall, completely still. That alone set off alarms. They turned around to check, thinking a kid was out there alone. But when they came back, they found nothing. There was no sign anyone had ever been there. It was a deserted stretch of road. So where could a child disappear to that fast? People started saying it was never a child at all, just something pretending to look like one. Strange encounter. Officers were responding to reports of strange noises coming from the woods. When they reached the area, their body cams caught something nobody could explain. It looked kind of humanoid, but also animal and alien at the same time.
What is that? Hold the light right there. Sir, you okay?
The shape was wrong. When they spotted it, the thing froze behind a bush like it knew it had been seen. Then suddenly, it launched itself and vanished into the dark so fast, the camera didn't even catch a blur, just gone.
Hold the light right there. Sir, you okay? Stay with me. Oh my God. Back up.
The officers stood there in shock, trying to process what they'd just seen. People online said it had to be some unknown species, because nothing like that felt like it belonged on Earth at all. Glowing eyes. A former cop had been hearing strange sounds at night, like something big was prowling around his property. At first, he brushed it off as animals, but the noises kept getting closer. One night, he grabbed a flashlight and his phone and went out to check. He walked a few meters into the woods behind his house, filming the whole thing. That's when he saw them. Two shining eyes staring back at him from the darkness. Not moving, just watching. He froze. He didn't even know what he was dealing with, let alone how to get rid of it. Some people said it was a werewolf. Others thought it was some kind of animal chimera. But in that darkness, no one could tell for sure. Vanishing patrol. Two officers were patrolling a quiet neighborhood late at night when something strange started happening. As they walked down a lonely street, the lights began glitching in a way that didn't look electrical at all. It felt unreal, like the air itself was bending, almost like they had stumbled into some kind of hidden portal. The story took a terrifying turn later. Those same officers disappeared. Their co-workers found their gear and their phones on the street, but the officers themselves were gone. Some people believed they walked straight through that portal into another realm and never came back. Blessed stranger. A canine handler started hearing his dogs barking like crazy outside in the middle of the night.
Listen, you need to leave.
He rushed out, thinking someone was on his property. Near the cages, he saw what looked like a woman standing in the dark.
Leave now. It's midnight. We're not...
He told her to leave. She didn't. Instead, she took a step closer and calmly said she just wanted to bless him and his dogs.
I just came to bless you and your dog.
You need to leave now.
That alone felt wrong. Then, in the blink of an eye, she vanished. He searched the street, the yard, everywhere. Nothing. When the footage went viral, people were convinced it wasn't human at all. They said it was something demonic, using gentle words to lure its prey before striking.
I'm gonna leave.
And that made the whole thing even more chilling. Haunted school. A guy posted an old clip from when he served in the Chilean army. They were often sent to patrol abandoned school buildings. And in this video, he was inside one that already felt wrong. The halls looked dead, heavy. As the lieutenant finished giving an order, a child's scream echoed through the window. Middle of the night, no kids anywhere. The recruits rushed downstairs, and then it got worse. Their communication device started playing distorted sounds, as if the spirit had jumped into it. People wondered if a child from the past was trying to reach them, or if something darker was hiding in that school. Shadow mystery. These security guards were walking home after their shift when they noticed something that made no sense. On the ground, there was a clear shadow, solid, sharp. But when they looked up, there was nothing in the sky that could be casting it. What made it worse was that the shadow started moving, changing shape on the pavement. They moved their camera side to side, trying to find the source. Nothing, just the shadow, sliding across the ground like it had a life of its own. People who saw the clip said it felt like a glitch in reality, like the guards had accidentally caught a moment where the world messed up. Lake Intruder. A female officer checking a resident's backyard after reports of an intruder. Everything felt quiet at first, too quiet. Then she noticed movement in the lake behind the house. Something was stirring.
What are you doing?
Slowly, a man began rising out of the water. He stepped onto the property like he belonged there. That's when her guard dog snapped into action.
No!
Barking and charging forward, forcing him back. The man just stood there, staring, then slowly retreated into the lake again. The way he came out didn't look normal at all. People later said he looked possessed. If that dog hadn't reacted so fast, the officer could have been overpowered. She called for backup, but by the time they arrived, he was gone. Cemetery presence. A guard working night duty at Fairmount Cemetery in Colorado said his shift turned into a nightmare. He heard crying sounds echoing through the tombs.
Oh, it's over here.
When he rounded a corner, he saw a robed figure standing in front of a grave. It looked like a woman, shaking like she was sobbing.
See if I can focus in a little bit better.
He called out to her.
¿Está bien? What the f?
The second he did, The figure shot straight up the wall and onto the roof with inhuman speed. Its shape even seemed to twist as it moved. Nothing human moved like that. People who watched the clip asked the same thing. Had he just seen a witch or something far worse pretending to be one? Ghostly stranger. A security guard watching cameras in an empty building late at night noticed something. On one floor, a white, translucent figure appeared, walking slowly across the hallway. He rushed up there but found nothing. No doors open, no footsteps, no sign anyone had been inside at all. That's when it hit him. The camera hadn't glitched. It had captured something he couldn't see in person. After that night, he didn't call it a technical error anymore. He called it a ghost. Witchy intruder. A man had called police after noticing someone sneaking around his property. The first round turned up nothing. Later, another officer was sent. That's when his camera caught movement behind the bushes. He zoomed in and saw what looked like an old woman crawling low to the ground. But something about her was wrong.
You see her? Look at that face. Oh my god.
She almost moved too fast for an old person.
Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my god, dude. What the
And her face was too terrifying. The officer froze and called for backup instead of approaching. Watching the footage later, people agreed that wasn't just some lost old lady. It looked exactly like how witches were described in stories. And the officer, he didn't move an inch until help arrived. Backseat surprise. Police officers responding to a report found a car parked the wrong way. When one officer went closer to it, the camera caught something chilling. A shadowy figure sitting in the back seat with glowing eyes, staring straight ahead. Seconds later, when the officer checked again, the seat was completely empty. No sign of anyone ever being there. After the clip surfaced online, people began digging. Some claimed a woman had lost her life in that same car months earlier, while rushing to the hospital. Whether coincidence or something darker, the footage left viewers deeply unsettled. Window watcher. A patrol officer received a call about someone peeking through the windows of a house that had been locked up for years. He went there with his team, and as soon as he arrived, he said this.
This place definitely gives out some creepy vibes.
Scared but determined, he approached the door. That's when a strange shadow appeared in the window. Despite the chills running down his spine, he went inside to check if someone was really there, but found no one. It seemed the officer had encountered a ghost that night, and honestly, got lucky to make it out alive. Portugal Phantom. This incident was recorded in an abandoned town in Portugal. The police officers had been hearing rumors about a strange creature haunting the area at night, so they decided to investigate. Everything seemed normal at first, but the moment they decided to leave, a strange white silhouette appeared in the window.
Meu Deus do céu, cara!
It moved so fast that the officers immediately believed in the existence of a mysterious spirit inside. That's when they realized the locals' warnings about the place were actually true. Silent intruder. Late one night, police received a call from a resident who claimed someone had broken into their neighbor's newly built house. The neighbors were away on vacation, so officers were dispatched to check it out. They searched every corner, confirmed no one was inside, and found no signs of a break-in. But as one officer walked back toward his car, something caught his attention. A figure peeking at him from the doorway.
And now they're back. You see it?
Shocked, he quickly backtracked, but the house was empty just moments before. With no explanation and no intruder found, the officer left the scene unsettled by what he had just witnessed. Cemetery call. Firefighters received a late-night call from a woman claiming she was locked inside the cemetery. A rescue team arrived and conducted a full search, but they found no one.
Mas a gente passou por todos os portões do cemitério, não achamos ninguém no portão, e viemos aqui no portão principal, que era onde a solicitante falou que estava, e também nada avistado.
The on-duty guard told them this wasn't the first time. The same call had come before, and police had answered once only to find nobody there. Puzzled, the crew checked every corner, gates, and paths, but there were no tracks, no signs of a struggle, nothing to explain where the woman could have gone. After leaving, the firefighters couldn't shake the feeling they'd been summoned by something not quite human. The case stayed unresolved, and locals whispered it might have been a ghostly prank or something far stranger. Vanished bus. Police body cam footage revealed a disturbing scene. After the driver's chilling 911 call, officers reached the bus within minutes. The engine was still running, doors wide open, but the seats were empty. Instead, 45 to 50 school bags lay scattered across the bus, as if the children had disappeared in an instant.
Hello? Is anyone on the bus? Hello?
The driver, pale and trembling, could barely form words. He claimed he heard a low humming sound, turned around, and the bus was suddenly empty. No doors had opened. No one had stepped off. Just silence and abandoned belongings.
The kids are gone.
They're gone. I don't know where they went.
How many kids total?
45, 50.
Okay.
Officers searched the area, but found no trace of the missing students. When they reviewed the footage, they were left speechless.
Please, facing forward, thank you. That's what I like.
Drowned echo. A night security guard shared strange footage from an old warehouse. Locals had long whispered about a boy who had drowned nearby. The guard didn't believe them until one night. He noticed droplets and smudges of water on the floor, though no one was inside. Following the markings with his camera, he reached a dark corner where the feed suddenly revealed a small figure standing still.
Oh, jeez.
He fled and swore to avoid the place. A week later, he returned and saw it again. This time, at the emergency exit, his camera caught a shadowy silhouette of a child at the top of the stairs, accompanied by a loud, unexplained noise. Many believe the drowned boy's spirit haunted the warehouse. Shadow follower. The footage shows a man walking down a colony street when someone watching from an apartment noticed something unusual. An eerie shadow was following him, and the man had no idea it was there. Who or what it was, no one could say. It may have been something connected to him, otherwise it might have troubled the man, despite many unclarities. This footage proves one thing whether we believe in them or not, or whether we sense them or not. Otherworldly entities exist alongside us in this world. Road ghost. Reports of loud crying in a remote village in Peru led officers to start a patrol, but what their dashcam captured was deeply unsettling. In the distance stood a woman in a white gown, walking barefoot along the road. When the officers approached to help, she slowly turned toward them, and her appearance froze them in place. They claimed her skin looked pale and dried, and her eyes had no pupils at all. Terrified, the officers ran back to their vehicle. Some locals claimed she was La Llorona from Mexican folklore, while others insisted it was just someone in costume. But the eerie encounter remained a mystery no one could confidently explain. Twisted hand. This clip was captured by an officer patrolling an office building at night. He and his colleagues had heard and seen strange things in the hallways before, but that night, his camera picked up something far more chilling. A twisted hand curling around a corner as if signaling him. He rushed forward and rounded the corner immediately, but no one was there. It was a dead end, with nowhere for anyone to run or hide. The only explanation left was the one no officer ever wants to consider, that whatever made that gesture wasn't entirely human. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.